This video is a step-by-step guide to using the Air Quality Burn Permit System, or what we'll call today AQBPS. Before we get into the ways in which you can use the system, make sure you have a Secure Access Washington account. You cannot complete any of the following steps online without using Secure Access Washington. If you don't have one, pause now and visit secureaccess.wa.gov. And be aware that Washington as a state plans to update Secure Access Washington accounts to be known as wa.gov accounts. We'll update these instructions in the future if we discover that changes need to be made to AQBPS because of the move to wa.gov. But for now, it's Secure Access Washington. So what I'm in right now is a test environment. What you see on your screen will look very similar other than some of the areas that may say test in this example. So now that you're logged in, you may either see a blank screen or other services that you've added to your account. Maybe you've used Secure Access Washington to renew your vehicle tabs, for example. So our first step today is to add Air Quality Application Portal to our list of services. And I'm going to browse alphabetically by service name. Since what we need starts with A, it's going to be pretty early in the list. And again, this is a test environment. You won't see services that say test or example or something like that when you're adding what you need. We'll first need to add Air Quality Application Portal, and if this is already added to your list of services, well, you're ahead of the game. We're going to return now to My Services and enter the Application Portal and continue through any prompt screens we get. Once we're in the Air Quality Application Portal, we need to make sure to enter our basic contact information. It's a critical step to make sure Ecology can contact you about your application. If you've already received a permit from Ecology's Air Quality Program, this is probably done for you. It's done for me in my test environment. I've already set it up under my name, Test Taylor, Test Van Cise, but if you're a first-time user, it's going to be the first screen you see, your chance to fill out your contact information. All right, now that we have our profile built in the overall Air Quality Application Portal, we can go to the Actions column and add the Air Quality Burn Permit System, AQBPS. It jumps us back to our first list of applications, and then we'll select Go to AQBPS. Now that we're in the Air Quality Burn Permit System program, we're ready to start filling out our permit request and get down to business. We're going to select New Application and find which permit we need. All of these boxes can be expanded and have information about what they're used for. Some have flat fees, others have fees that depend on how much you need to burn. Still others are free. So for this example, we're going to fill out an application for an agricultural permit for field burning. And we'll open the box and see the finer points of what this permit does and does not cover. After giving it a read, and once you've done the right amount of homework and found the right permit, that's when we're going to start our application. So for this case, we'll say that I'm the one doing the burning. And if that's not the case, you'll be prompted to submit information about who is doing that part of the work. This is a really important step because when you entered your contact information earlier, that's going to automatically populate on this form. So if you are not the burner, select No, and you'll have a chance to fill in the burner's contact information. At this point, time to indicate where we would like to burn. And to do this, we have three different options. You can submit an address in the search box on this mapping tool. You can draw on the map, or if you already have your own map, you can click Use Manual Location or attach it as a supplemental document on the application details page. But for this demonstration, we're going to actually draw on the map. And if you're somebody who prefers to look for landmarks in the satellite view, you can do that right here as well. Just watch as I change my settings. All right, let's say I'm on the Palouse. Maybe I'm south of St. John. I'll zoom in here on the map and find my property and draw the approximate area that I intend to burn. We'll say it's somewhere off of, what is this? Looks like Gas Line Road. Using the circle drawing tool, I'm going to mark my area on the map, double check my work, and then I'll be able to move on to my next step. With the map exercise done, I'm ready to plug in the specific details about my field and materials. For company name and field location, I'm going to use test in just about every one of these boxes, just so I can give you a general feel about how this application works. But in these boxes, you might say Smith Family Farm, South Field, field number 1. You'll also notice that some of these boxes are going to be grayed out, and you can't adjust them. That's information that was pulled from the mapping work we just did. So we'll find out where our expected burn date range is, and here in the summertime as I'm recording, we'll put it in mid to late July for my date range of when I would like to burn. Then it's on to the crop category, and this is where, depending on your specific crop, different options are going to appear depending on what you enter. For example, if you're treating a vineyard, well, then the only crop type that's going to populate is grape. But if you're treating a wheat field, you'll notice that you're going to have quite a few more options. And again, these fields change based off of earlier decisions that you've made throughout this process. You'll also see a box for driving instructions in case somebody needs to come out and physically take a look at the land before burning. This is where you might say, the gate is locked, call me when you're nearby, or use the third driveway past the red mailbox. I'll say the gate is open and watch out for the pothole. Okay, now let's take a look at this. It looks pretty good, but is it done? The last buttons that we need to use for our submission aren't available yet. They're gray down here. So if we look up at the top of our application, there's one more thing we need to do, and this might trip you up. So we need to attach that mapping file that was generated by our interactive map. Whether you use that map or you have your own software, you won't be able to move forward without actually attaching some kind of map file to this application. So we'll do that now and see if that solved it. And yes, it did. We can either move ahead or add additional burn areas. And this takes us to our last chance to make sure it all looks correct. Double check your contact info, and then it's on to the signature page where we review signature language and hit sign and submit application. Before you know it, you're done. This final page is going to give you some information about your next steps, and the real key at this point is to keep an eye on your email inbox. Instructions on what happens next for your specific application will come directly to you, likely from an address that says something like do not reply at ecology.wa.gov or something to that effect. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Ecology's Air Quality Program, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction.